When you open the notebook that is shared in Notebook LM, you'll see these three panels. In this example, I've got AI for Marketing Notebook open, and it's showing me that it's a public notebook. On the left-hand side are all the sources that have been added on this topic by us, and all the sources are different ones. There's some documents, there's some videos from YouTube, and there's some PDF files. A whole bunch of additional resources may be added in here, like website URLs or those type of things. And you can actually look at some of these resources. So if you want to see this particular video, you can go and click on it, and you can see that video, and you can go watch that video, or you can just go look at the summary about that video if you like. Or if you go back to sources and you want to see this particular document, you'll see everything about that document, the source guide, and then the topics also summarized, which allows you to jump around between different topics within these sources. Now, the beauty of Notebook LM is the fact that it's a retrieval augmented generation, and what that means, it's basically just answering your questions from these sources that we are trusting, so you won't get any hallucinations from the questions that you ask. In the middle here is your chat, and here's a sort of a brief summary already. But if there's any other question that you want, you can literally just type it in here, or in this case, I'll just pick some of the suggested questions that is shown up, and it'll start answering your questions. And again, it'll use all of these sources over here to find the information for you. So you could see that now it's answered this question. What concrete examples demonstrate AI's impact on marketing efficiency, personalization, and measurable business income outcomes? And you'll see that gives a nice little table and comparison, gives some concrete examples, and a really thorough, comprehensive answer of your question. So if you want to know where this information comes from, you can just hover over the citation, and it'll show you where that information is drawn from. Or if you click on it, you'll see it opens up that source, and it goes straight to where in that source that information is extracted from. So really a cool tool already in itself for you to really dig into a topic. Here's some more suggested questions. What are AI governance risk? How does AI boost engagement? All sorts of things. And then obviously you can copy this and paste it across into your the document that you're working on, wherever you want to use that information. Then on the right-hand side here, this panel gives you a whole bunch of pre-prepared resources. These studio outputs give an in-depth visual and audio overview of the notebook's topic. So you can see here's a video, a podcast, interactive podcast, which I'll show you just now. There's a mind map that you can go and have a look at, or you can just go and have a look at some of the actual reports that we've done previously. So it's strategic imperative, and your brand is not an algorithm, so it's like a type of blog that was created. But let's dig into these a little bit. You click on the mind map, and now you can see across all of those sources, it makes sense of it for you, and it summarizes it into these main topics. So if you want to, say, learn more about this particular topic, you're just going to expand it like that, and then say, see which ones of these you want to go further and dive a little bit deeper onto aligning processes. And then maybe everything goes pop culture is what you want to hear about. You click on that, and it's going to write everything about pop culture for you in this report. So a great way to analyze and go through data is through the mind map. And then, of course, you can use the podcast.
for a while now, any talk about AI, especially large language models, it's just been all hype or, frankly, fear.
Yeah,
We want to move past that noise today.
exactly. We're here to uh, cut straight to what's actually happening on the ground. How are successful brands, and maybe more interestingly, agile entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
really using AI right now? We're talking transforming marketing, getting serious ROI, and hitting a scale that honestly was unimaginable just a few years back.
Right. So our mission here is to give you a kind of blueprint. We've looked at a bunch of case studies, different strategic frameworks to.
So I'm going to pause it there, but you get the idea, and you can hear that it's a very interesting podcast that was created again by viewing all of these sources, and you can go and listen to the conversation that two people are having about that. So the other format is a video, so I can go and play it. You'll see it's a nice sort of a presentation style explainer type video that you can use, and it sounds and looks something like this.
In a world where digital attention is probably the most valuable thing on the planet, marketers are starting to see AI as way more than just a tool. It's becoming a real strategic partner. We're in the middle of a huge shift, and today we're going to break down the new playbook for marketing in the age of AI. So let's just start with the big question. Is your marketing playbook completely out of date? I mean, think about it. Things are changing so fast that the old rules, just cranking out more and more content, they just don't work anymore. The real challenge now is finding a way to cut through all that noise.
So you get the idea from the video as well. So you can go and watch the video on that particular topic that you have chosen. And then there's many, many other resources that you have. So you can see that with this notebook that I've provided, that you could really get a good understanding, and it's a brilliant way of learning and getting to grips with any topic in AI.